Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We're looking at Tesla once again. Tesla continues to be one of the most hot topics in all of FinTwit, probably the entire world. If you look on CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, whatever it is, Tesla comes up and it's because of Elon. And it looks like right now the stock is in an interesting place. I don't know if there is any kerfuffling going on with the amount of time that Elon is spending at Twitter or X or whatever we want to call it now, but it looks like things have changed at least a little bit because the price of Tesla is around 265, 267, somewhere in there. Just a little over 2 weeks ago, this thing was at 290, shooting for 300. It looks like the one thing that I do find really interesting though is that the 5-day moving average it looks like still above. Actually, what it is that the price is now above the 5-day moving average. You can see here with these 3 green days, that shows that the price is now back up above the 5-day moving average where it was not there before. The 5-day moving average is still below the 20-day moving average, and the price is still below the 5-day moving average. Or at least it's above it right now. It's interesting. That is a slight positive move, at least for Tesla. It looks like, though, the price to fall has been very correct for a little bit here. It's just been falling down and down. We have gotten back-to-back 2 positive days here in Tesla, which is good to see. I don't necessarily like that we have a go short in the short term and intermediate term. We don't have a signal that is go short in the longer term, which is good. It looks like tomorrow we're going to flip to bullish, bullish, bullish on the short term, intermediate term, and longer term for Tesla. Very positive. Okay. So now that we're looking at this graph, I can see that I actually do like this setup a lot. The reason why I'm very sure that I like it is because right now we're getting a falling bear, and right now it looks like under 50% in terms of the 10-day bullishness. But the thing that we're starting to see is we're starting to see a rise in bullishness on the shorter term. It looks like we've actually made the rebound that we needed to in Tesla from the highs that we were seeing back in, it looks like June. The highs that we were seeing back in June, it looks like we essentially what do you want to say, consolidated those gains. We've been going side to side for almost 2 full months now. We're at 6 weeks into essentially going side to side here in Tesla. And it looks like we have finally set up for a possible go long. And what do you know, boys and girls? On my trading signals, we have a buy on Tesla at 267. I love that signal. I'm so happy that I know my stuff. And this is one reason why I think that it is important for every single person to build not only their own tool, but to have their own way to look at the markets. Because just by reviewing individual stocks on a daily basis or a regular basis, you can do it weekly, you get a good understanding of what you can do and how you can specifically kind of start to tailor your own strategy based on your filtering mechanisms of what you're looking at. That was probably a little too esoteric for this video. So I'll just use that as a way to say, build your own tools, be your own person. We're going to look back at the daily Tesla chart here. What's interesting to me is the side-to-side action that we've been seeing for the past few months. And even here on the weekly really shows this consolidation because this is June 16th, which is where we essentially hit the top here. So June 16th, we've essentially gone nowhere, which makes sense now that you think about it because 300 was at one point kind of a big resistance level back in August of 2022. And I would imagine that it probably was back in even 21. So 300 has always been a big level for Tesla. And this really looks no different. I would honestly say that I think it's going to break through because of the way the sentiment looks. This is a daily sentiment indicator on Tesla. It looks like it's for the first time breaking back up above the 15-day moving average since back on the 21st of June, which everything that we've looked at so far, that was a time to the 21st of June. We really want to respect this signal. I might want to definitely go long Tesla here. This looks like a great setup going to the fall. And actually, the more and more that I look at the stocks that are breaking out right now, the fall Q4 of 2023 looks like it might end up being a beautiful time because I'm imagining, like I mentioned in another video today, that money managers are going to be behind on their returns. They're going to need to be piling into things that are going higher. And they're most likely going to buy the things that won't work in the back half of the year, but that worked in the first half of the year. And unfortunately or fortunately for Tesla, that's definitely that. So Tesla will probably get a bid from money managers, and that could be like a big hurrah. When the regular demand is probably going to be rotating into other places. And I bet commodities will be higher. It's really interesting to see that now that we want to see a reset. I want to see a reset here in Tesla's volatility. Either make this the low. Sometimes it can come all the way down to like 3 or maybe even like 0 or 1. If we can make a low pretty quick here in the volatility for Tesla, we see a breakout in volatility. What I would expect now. Here's a little bit of pontification. Because the volatility has started to fall here in Tesla, and it has been since the middle of June, which again, I don't think is a coincidence with that high. What we're going to expect here is most likely the volatility is going to bottom somewhere around here because it's been falling so long, and it's going to break out really aggressively. And I think it's going to break out really aggressively because I think price is going to make it do it, not because the derivative wants to. I think what's going to end up happening because we're seeing the price to volatility correlation go positive here after not being positive for a long time. We're actually essentially peaking in the middle of July and falling. That the volatility is going to break out in an aggressive way. We're probably going to get a weird gap move in Tesla. That is my prediction now because I'm just starting to think about how I'm viewing the data And it's not lining up with the type of price action that we're seeing in Tesla. If anything, what we're seeing is that there's going to be a big resumption of bullish demand inside of Tesla, and it's going to just tear the price to a new high. The only thing that might be able to really hold it back is I was going to say the weekly, but if you look at the weekly, we are actually starting to come back down. We're at 55% on the weekly. When we hit that high, you guessed it, the middle of June, we were at 63% on the weekly for Tesla. And right now, I would suspect that sometime in the fall, we're going to get a gigantic gap up for Tesla, because the way the volatility and the correlation are setting up right now, it just lends me to believe that there's demand, which is going to come back. So we just broke back above, and we still have bearishness to shake off. We still have bearishness to actually shake off. And that is a great place for people to get really aggressive in their positions. And Tesla is notoriously known for having a ton of leverage. And I don't mean like leverage, I mean like options, 3 times leverage. It's in a bunch of ETFs. There's money managers chasing it, and people feel safe putting millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into the stock. Ooh, it'll be an exciting September, October for Tesla. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? Before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We give you 25 stocks breaking out every single Sunday at 9 a.m. right to your inbox. Bootlegmacro.beehive.com/subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.